Hello and welcome along to another CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. Today we're going to number 7, Cambridge Street in Reading, RG1 7PA. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event of borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. So let me then start off by introducing you to Helson Investments Limited. Their company registration number is 121-72228. They incorporated in August 2019, and the directors are Antoine and Kay Helson. I'm delighted to say that they join me here now on this webinar, and not just them. We've got their new recruit, their one-year-old son, Sebastian. So welcome both to this webinar. Let's start off with you, please, Kay. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and Antoine and what you've done so far.
Hi, so we're both chiropractors, and we've recently moved back to the UK to be near a family after being in the Netherlands for a decade. And when we moved back, we were keen to have a bit more quality time with our family as well. So alongside our part-time chiropractic roles, we decided to invest in a business that was going to give us a bit more freedom, time-wise and financially, hopefully in the future as well. And inspired by my family business, we've decided that property is the way to go.
And you've got together a strong project team. Tell us a bit more about those professionals, Antoine.
Yeah, so these are experienced professionals who were recommended to us by friends and family who are also in the property business. They have a lot of experience, and so far we've been working very well with them.
And I mentioned that you may hear a little bit of background noise from their son. He's aged 1. Tell us a little bit more about Sebastian.
So he's a 1-year-old, as you say, and we've got a 3-year-old sister as well who's entertaining herself in the other room as we speak. He was born in the Netherlands, and he is British and Belgian, as we are. I'm British and Anton's Belgian, so they've got a dual nationality, the lucky things, and they're loving being home again, and we're loving seeing their grandparents who live very locally as well.
So let's then have a look at the project that we're talking about here. This is a development loan of £180,000 towards the redevelopment of the property into a 4-bedroom house, which will be used as an HMO and also has a 1-bed flat below. This loan is for a term of 18 months, paying lenders 7.8% per annum. The total loan will be raised in a single phase of that £180,000, and the interest is fully retained, and lenders will receive monthly interest on this particular loan. So the property is in Cambridge Street in Reading. Start off, please, Kay, by telling us a little bit more about the town of Reading.
So it's a relatively big town, and it's only 5 miles away from where we live, so we're over there pretty often ourselves as well. It's quite close to London. It's got a really easy commute in these days with the trains, but there are also a lot of professionals that work in Reading itself, so we know there's an awful lot of tenants looking for high quality HMO and small apartment scale places to live. With my directorship of Location Key, there are 4 HMOs that are already up and running in Reading, so that's what we're sort of aiming to replicate, really.
And the property currently is a shell, isn't it, Antoine? What have you done so far?
The property had been vacant for the last 2 years. The previous owner had passed away, and everything was really dated. So we started by stripping everything back to brickwork, and at the moment we are rendering the basement, soundproofing it, and we have started with stud work and with first fix for electricity. We've improved the foundations and are currently waiting for the party wall inspections to start with the loft conversion.
So as we've just heard, the borrowers, they're intending to completely refurbish this property, including the loft conversion and the reinstatement of a separate self-contained flat that's at the lower ground floor level. The loft conversion is going to be carried out under permitted development rights. The borrower owns the property outright, it's unencumbered, and they've already started work where they're using their own funds so far. The loan will fund the conversion works, and of course this project will be first charge secured. The exit strategy is to retain and rent out the flats with a refinance onto a standard buy-to-let mortgage on completion of the works. Here's a location plan for you. You can see on the left-hand side that CrowdProperty flag pointing towards Reading. You can see it there just off the M4 motorway and where it is in relation to local towns such as Newbury and indeed London, just further along the M4 motorway. On the right-hand side is the site location plan, which you can see number 7 edged in red on that particular plan. So more about the location, and it's located on Cambridge Street. That's close to the junction with George Street, which provides access onto Oxford Street. Reading Town Centre is within a short walk along Oxford Street, and that provides a range of amenities and of course the railway station. There's several schools within close proximity of the property, and Reading close to the M4 corridor, and the railway station provides access into central London in under half an hour. Here's an interesting fact for you. One of the largest urban areas not to be a city is the claim to fame of Reading. It's unsuccessfully applied for that city status on 3 occasions in the past. And on the right, you can see where the property is in relation to that railway line and the other part of Reading as well. Here are some photos then. These are the existing photographs of the property. I've got 3 lots to 2 photos. Start off by talking here about what we can see on these photos, please, Antoine.
So the photo on the left is the front of the house. As you can see, there's a skip outside of where we were, which has been used for during the clearing. And on the right is a photo of the back garden. As you can see, it hasn't been maintained, and well, there is no fence. So that's what we plan on improving. The photo on the left is a photo of the basement flat, the lower ground floor. As you what you can see there is the damp proofing, the rendering that they've been doing, and on the right is a photograph of the front room on the ground floor, which is going to be a double bedroom in the 4-bed HMO. These photos are from the first floor, where you can see they've started putting in the partition walls of the bedrooms and the ensuite bathrooms.
So it's good to see photos and what you've done so far. Let's look at the floor plans, and maybe I can come over to you now, please, Kay. Just explain the floor plans to us and what you're going to be doing at each level.
Yes, of course. So the basement flat, as you see it on the left-hand side here, is essentially going to be a lounge and kitchen in one at the front, all quite modern, and then heading into a sort of utility area before you go into the bedroom, which will be a large double bedroom with a window at the back, which lets in quite a bit of lights. And then you head into the ensuite from there on that floor. And then as you go up to the first floor, there's obviously a separate front door to the house, the 4-bed HMO we're renovating. So as you come into the front, you can either go straight ahead up the stairs, or you go into the left. At the front of the house, there's going to be a bedroom, or you can go into the living room, which will be open into the kitchen. At present, there are a few walls there that we're removing, so some steels have gone in this week actually to maintain the structure. But hopefully the lounge and the kitchen will be quite large and airy for an HMO in this area. The kitchen's actually down slightly from the living room, so you go down some steps into it, but that actually looks quite nice. And then we go up onto the first floor, where you have 2 bedrooms. One is an ensuite and one has a shared bathroom with the bedroom downstairs. And in the loft, which you can see on the right-hand side, there's a really large bedroom with a nice ensuite and a walk-in wardrobe. That's where the dormer's coming into play, of course, to create some extra space so that we can make it a roomy 4-bedroom house.
And what size rooms are these?
So they're all double rooms. I believe the smallest is about 7 square meters, but that's the smallest by quite some way, and they go up to about 11.5 square meters, I believe, is the biggest one. So they're relatively roomy double rooms, all of them.
Coming back to you then, please, Antoine, how did you find this project?
Right move. We looked at quite a few houses, and after visiting a couple, we thought that this one had the most potential. So we jumped in.
And who do you see as your target market that will rent it from you?
So we're looking for young professionals, essentially, so single people in the HMO that work locally, or people that commute from Reading into, for example, London, but people with a steady stream of income and that can prove that to us, and that would enjoy living in a well-maintained house. We really hope to be good landlords that they would recommend in the future when they move on. And the basement will be a single person, or possibly even a couple. It'll be spacious enough to have a couple in it, we think.
Now, you've done or been involved in other projects as well over in the Netherlands. This is the first one to explain. Talk us through what you did here.
So this was our chiropractic practice over there, which when we took it over was a very dated building, as you can see in the photos below. It had room for 2 practitioners to be working at the same time, but as we took the practice over, it expanded and thrived, so we needed a bit more capacity. So we renovated it and extended it to modernise it and to create more treatment areas for 3 practitioners to be able to be working at the same time.
And then moving on to the second case study, again in the Netherlands. What was this one?
So this was a 400-year-old residential property in Housden, and it was, again, quite dated when we moved in. It was our property, and specifically the bathroom and the kitchen were very, very dated. So we renovated the whole thing, but we really tried to keep some of the original features because it's such a special house. It was a listed property, actually, so we had to be quite careful about planning regulations and any changes we did make, but it was quite a success.
And look at the photos on the right-hand side there. It's quite a mix of the old and the new.
Yes, absolutely, which we like the style of, but we thought it was really important to keep the house looking as it should in the area it was in.
So coming back then to this project, which is 7 Cambridge Street in Reading, it's a single phase raise of £180,000. The interest is fully retained and is going to be paid monthly to investors at the rate of 7.8% per annum. RICS have verified the current market value to be £125,000. The initial gross day 1 drawdown is £62,500. Therefore, the initial loan to value is 50%. The loan to value at the exit, excluding the interest, is 51.4%. And because that interest is being paid monthly, then that also means when you include the rolled up interest, it's 51.4% as well. It's for a maximum loan term of 18 months, with the loan targeted to start on the 30th of June 2020. But only after the legal process has been completed. Remember, the exit strategy is to refinance onto a longer term loan, and it's already been secured, or it will have, by a first charge security against the property to protect the interest of all the lenders involved in this project. So thank you for explaining everything to us, Antoine K, and of course Sebastian for chipping in as well. Lovely to hear him. The next stages are for people to make sure that they understand this loan, and it's important that you carry out your own due diligence on the project and the development team, and then decide how much you would like to lend. CrowdProperty.com is the place to be to pledge on launch, and then the necessary anti-money laundering checks will be carried out. Then you'll be invited to send your funds to your own online e-wallet, and you will earn interest on completion of the loan agreement. So this is a development loan. It's for £180,000, a single phase raise for 18 months at the rate of 7.8% per annum equivalent, but the interest is going to be paid monthly for the property at 7 Cambridge Street in Reading, RG1 7PA. Thank you for watching this webinar. We look forward to you joining us again here soon at CrowdProperty.com.